so we're live now. Welcome everyone to our webinar today with our wonderful speaker, Pratush. Pratush, how are you doing today?
Hi, Katrina. Thanks for having me. I'm doing really nice. And how about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. We have a great autumn here in Spain, so nice day for the
Oh, okay.
webinar. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Here it's quite cold actually. We just started our winter season, so it's very cold here.
Oh,
But still,
so
it's better than some certain days. Yeah.
yeah, sure. So today we're going to talk about an interesting domain, property and casualty auto insurance, and Pratush will tell his case study from it. So passing the words, I think we can start, and I will pass the word to you. But before, um, feel free to leave your questions if you have in chat. So if you're watching from YouTube, you can leave it to the live stream or in the VR community chat, and Pratosh would be happy to answer them when the webinar ends. Okay, let's start. I'll share your presentation and passing the word to you.
Thanks, Katrina. Okay, hi guys. So I'll just give a brief introduction of myself over here, just so that we can know each other better. So typically my overall experience is of 11 years, more than a decade of experience I have, and it's more in multi-domain experience. So it's I worked on e-commerce, property and casualty insurance. I worked on pension schemes. I worked on digital solutioning workflows as well, and a bit of product development in certain product areas and LOBs I have functioned with. So it's quite an extensive experience you can see. And over the globe, I have worked with multiple levels of clients, so like UK, US, Germany, Australia. So I've been interacted with much over the globe altogether. So still, I can see a lot many improvements in myself. I'm learning a lot, and I try to grasp as many things as I can. And from these all experience, I came to so Katrina reached out to me about a certain topic about it. So and I have this fortunately I have an experience which I wanted to share with you guys. It's about a case study in property and casualty domain itself, particularly to auto insurance, which I'll be presenting on today. um, the contents, if you can see in the slides, it's typical. We'll start from the typical solution approach. What is a solutioning? What are the things which we do for solutioning? The second is the base business case study, where we talk about what is the business all about, which was where we were discussing the use case and what was the problem of that use case. And there's a bit of a pinch of introduction to automation and manual solutioning. What is the difference between it, and how which particular thing which we need to push for certain solutionings. Okay. The fifth point is about the proposed solution. So whatever was the problem statement in the third point, how we attain to a proposed solution, what was the hurdles which we came across, and all these things which we will discuss over there. And eventually we talk about any queries which we have in Q&A. So without further ado, I'll just continue on this solutioning approach. What is a typical solution? It's like solution is something where which as a business analyst, you basically identify, evaluate, and propose a solution which will fix a business problem or solution, a need. Okay. And in order to attain a solution, there are certain steps which you need to follow, right? If we talk about typical processes, it's like you understand the requirement, you analyze the solutions within that, you design a solution from that analysis, and evaluate whether it's the outcome is as per your need or the business needs or not, and eventually you provide the solution or facilitate the implementation of that. Okay, now in order to attain these kind of solutions, you have to go through certain stages, techniques. You need to follow certain practices. Those practices, I have mentioned some common practices. There are numerous practices which you can follow, but I'll focus on those practices which are commonly being used. The first one is requirement analysis or elicitation. Elicitation is a process through which you gather the requirements properly. Okay, right? So there are steps. I don't want to go in deep in all of these steps, but I'll just try to put it over there. Like in requirement elicitation, you do interviews, you do evaluations in through workshops, you do questionnaires, you do observations on these, right? So there are multiple techniques through which you can gather the requirements. And now once it is the requirement is there with you, now you need to understand whether you grasp the right term of knowledge, right requirements. And you do creation of modeling techniques are there. So you do creation of process flow diagrams, you do use case creation, you did data modeling, you did wireframes or prototyping, based on which you can able to solidify what you have gathered so far. And eventually you move to a practice where you do some more analysis on it, like SWOT analysis, your root cause analysis is there, right? So certain techniques are still there in which you can able to analyze the problems. What are the things which you need to solve on those requirements? Okay. And there's a prioritization technique which we typically know, that there's a Moscow technique. There are n number of techniques. I've just mentioned my favorite three actually, but you can work on multiple prioritization techniques. Further to that, whatever you have encountered and you have validated, whether you have prioritization techniques and requirements, and right, whatever you have gathered so far, you need to verify your gatherings, right? Through which you can do it, user acceptance testing. You can do traceability metrics, requirement traceability metrics, through which you can link whatever is linked with the problem statement against what particular solution you will attain to get that problem statement solved. So that kind of activities you can do. Then the next one is stakeholder management. It's like whoever needs to be involved on these kind of activities, right? Which needs to be informed, which needs to be avoided doing these kind of activities. This is a particular list which you need to maintain. And then you reach to an agile and iterative techniques, which typically every single part of the software development we follow. So I won't say that this is something which is particular to solution, but it is like the whole approach which defines this agile approach. Okay, so you go through eventually in every single step. Then risk assessment and management, of course, that it's very much needed. So these kind of certain techniques are required over there to get a solution, to attain a problem statement, and then to get the solution of a proper solution of a particular problem. Now I'll reach to the case study. Now the case study, if you see in the slides, I masked the organization name just to avoid any making any names or mentioning, and just to make sure that since it is written as XYZ Insurance, it does not mean that it's a fake case study. It's the real approach, a case study which happened to me, and that's why I'm just sharing with you guys. Just to avoid certain things, I just avoid mentioning the name of the insurance company. Okay. Now this particular use case is about an insurance company. It's an MG actually. MG is an managing general agent. Now this company, it's basically for UK market. It started its MGA and aligned with a very well-known insurer company, which is Arc Insurance. And they have focusing on this particular high net worth individuals. They used to sell a lot many LOBs and a lot many products in home, landlord, auto, pet, travel, a lot many products which they are offering. But what was the particular USP about this particular company was that they used to sell packaged policies. Now, when you see packaged policy or you heard packaged policy, you mostly heard on a way that home to home, so you can add multiple risk within a particular policy and then get it right, create a policy out of it. But instead of it was multi-domain, multi LOB and multi-risk compatible product. So what I'm trying to say is that was, if in a single policy you can add 2 homes, you can add 2 tenant or landlord insurance, you can add say 5 auto cars or vehicles in this, and then you can add maybe 2-3 pets if you have, you can add travel insurance also, all single binded in a single policy, and that would have a single policy number. So it was properly targeted for high net worth people, and it was really nice concept. So if you can understand the complexity of that product, so it was tangled with multiple rating Excel sheets. So it was so many ratings which was involved within that. And since we are managing the multi LOB and multi risk architecture, it was very complex to comprehend. But thanks to our, I can see, development team, and they worked really hard on this and to attain this. Now, the benefit, these are certain things which we have seen within that particular product, that there's strong integration where through through which they can able to do sanctioning process, they can able to do address search from various experience. Sorry about that. There are certain integration for the VRS also, where they are getting these details of the homes and landlords. Okay, we have the DVLA, so also for the vehicle registration, direct debit payment. So it was well B2B process and a proper policy administrative system. Sorry about that. So this was the basic idea of our application which we were developing at that time. Now there was a problem in between when we were developing. We identified, but it wasn't at the point of UAT. It got at the time of production. That was something which was a bit of not good activity, of course, right? It reaches to production, then we got it, but that was some peculiar case through which we got to know that this was a problem. So if you see on the screen, this was a registration process in the DVLA. So DVLA is a government website through which in the UK, typically, you used to upload your details into DVLA, and then it is considered as a registered. So you have to provide certain details over there. Now, this is something which is a mandatory process for every single insurer to provide. So whenever you register any, insure any vehicle, within the 24 hours, mandatorily, it needs to be uploaded in the DVLA websites, government websites. Until then, even though you have purchased the insurance, it will not be counted because it is not registered over there. Now, this is the this was the functionality. Now, the DVLA website does not allow you to go and upload your records directly from the system. So from PAS, we cannot use any APIs because there was no API gateway open for the DVLA website. So we cannot able to upload or post anything over there. So in that case, we don't had any choice. So we put a support guy, and where they basically used to, one or two people was there. They used to able to upload these records manually to DVLA websites. Okay. Now this was something like, let's say, take an example. In a UK business, you insured at least 10 vehicles. In that case, those 10 vehicles needs to be mandatorily put on the DVLA website. Now, since there was a time difference, it was on site, it was UK, offshore we have in India over here, we're doing this upload in the DVLA, there's a time variation. So every night a support guy comes and follow at the end of the business day, UK business day, we used to collect all those records, all those insured vehicles, and put it manually into the DVLA websites. Now this was the activity which used to do. Now the problem is, one fine day, one of the vehicle got missed, and that vehicle got caught the next day with the traffic police. In that case, the customer had to have this hefty fine also, had to pay for that, and that was not a good practice, to be honest. And it was certain way, the customer basically went to the ARG Insurance. The ARG Insurance guys came to the MGA, and MGA came to us that how it got missed and something like that, which is typically there because the manual activity is certain, which is always certain to fail. Okay, it's prone to errors and everything. But because we don't have this technical investment over there, because the APIs were not there to post in DVLA, there's no other way around. So we kept it as a manual process, but eventually it failed. And due to which we missed that record, and the customer had to pay a hefty fine. The ARC Insurance and the MGA person also had this reputation also fails, that damages actually the reputation. So this was the problem statement, which was a very huge one, because it keeps on happening. You don't know which particular record which can mix and miss in that time. As a solution, we thought of an automation process. Since it was not there, you cannot post through an API. It will not be a batch process through which you can post those things. We have to think about something else. I put a slide about here in the automation process, automation, manual processing, just for you to refer. It's a very basic one where you can understand that automatic automation have its own benefits. Manual process limits, how much limits it does for the software applications, how the things which will be missed. So I won't be discussing. This is a very basic slide that you can just for the understanding of certain people, I just kept it over here in case you want to refer to what is the process automation, what is manual processing, what is the difference between it. I'll talk about the solution here. The solution was that since we cannot able to automate something which is not an API driven at that time, what we did, we kept a Selenium. We created a Selenium script over there, from where the Selenium used to pick Selenium bot used to pick the insured vehicle list from that day, from on a particular period, and used to upload manually. Like it's not exactly, I'll say manually. The bot is doing the activity similar to the person in the support used to do. Like it reaches to the websites to open the websites, put the vehicle details, click on post so that it gets registered within that time. It was a very simple process, but because it is any erroneous and you can miss any record, that was the issue, and which was got solved in this Selenium script. Now the benefits of these kind of automation, it was a very simple one, which Selenium is a tool we do for testing, but we try to utilize the same script for automating this process also. The only difference was that that particular support staff needs to play that script every single day, and that can be one of the options, though we have automated that also later. But that was the idea over there. Now if you see the benefits that we have attained from using that Selenium script, is the very first thing is that the record fetching was very easy. Earlier the person needs to get to the database, get the easy entries of the insured vehicles, and then put it over there. The Selenium script automatically fetches, and then there's less time involved to get this insured vehicles to the Selenium. Okay, all these relevant details and everything needs to be pushed to the DVLA, which is done by again the Selenium. So this was a really nice activity which is done by the Selenium script. So it helps. So you can see that the person who was doing the support team, it's just need to start the script at certain point, and then all these things activities are doing by itself, removing a lot many human hours, lessing and you can say these timely activities, erroneous activities can be removed easily. So that was the idea. Now you can see there's a seamless integration with the DVLA, where we have as I already spoken, I think that every single vehicle details have been published over there in the DVLA, which avoids a lot many things, and able to register on within the mandatory time, which is 24 hours. And error handling and logging, where the mechanism is there whenever there's an error, or if there's an erroneous record which is not complete, and all these things which will be told in the report itself, and then able to fix that on that case. So this was one of the advantage which we have attained. And the notification reporting features, it's like whatever the how many insureds we have published, registered in the DVLA websites, what are the records which got passed, what got failed. So we keep on getting the daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports, and we can forward it to ARC also. So this was very much utilizable, as well as very helpful in the case of creation of board rows also, which typically the MGS needs to submit to the insurers also. So that helped a lot. You can see the benefits. It has accuracy, efficiency, scalability, and compliance also. Compliance in the case of us, to be honest, and it helped a lot. So the solutioning technique is something which is we went over and above. We know that there's no typical traditional options are there. So we thought of a out of box options, and we kept it over there. So the idea is that we have to keep an open mind. We don't have to restrict ourselves within a particular solution or particular box itself. We know that we can able to explore further details, which is not typically an IT. Maybe since you can see, right, example is the Selenium. So Selenium is not used for development at all. Selenium is a testing tool, but we try to utilize that same thing to avoid our similar mistakes. Though we have automated that Selenium there, now the person also don't need to just go and click on the script to run. It will automatically run on a certain time. But these are the activities which we went through out of the box to just put it. So this was the solution, and this is how we have avoided a lot many things and lot many pain, honestly. And this was done through out of the box thinking. So that is all from my side. Any questions and queries you want to ask, you can put it on the chat. And you can also reach out to me just in case if you have further questions or queries later onwards, you can reach out to me on my website, email address, or you can call me also.
Thank you, Pratyush. A wonderful speech. So as of now, we have 2 questions. If anyone wants to leave it additional questions, it's time. So the first one, what was the core insurance system?
Sorry, I missed it.
What was the core insurance system?
Right. The core insurance system was it was on PNC background. Okay, and it's based on the development which we have done is the .NET framework. Basically, we designed that B2B activity. It was a platform through which a broker, an agent, can able to write the policies for the customers. So it's a B2B platform. I hope I provide the answers.
Yeah, thank you, Pratyush. And we have another one. Did you use user testing on design stage to validate your designs on end users before sending it to the development team?
Yes, of course. So the idea is so that was the part 2 which we were just discussing on the solutioning techniques, right? Whenever we get the requirements, we need to validate those requirements, right? Whether we have captured the right requirements or not, because there are multiple techniques we are gathering it. So in order to do that, we do flow charts, we do prototyping, and all sorts of activities to just prove that this is the right requirement or we are on the right track. So we validate based on that. So there is a user acceptance testing also which we can do in the prototypes which we can provide to the customers. And there's a bit of faster way is to provide the flow diagrams, get into meetings and explain whatever you have captured, what are the solutions you are designing for them.
Okay, thank you, Pratyush. Let's see if there are some other questions. For now, the people asking for a recording. It will be available on VR community right after the streaming ends and on YouTube on our BA community channel, so you can access it right away. Let's wait a bit. Maybe someone has one last question. So let's see if there is any. Yeah. Okay. Don't see any other interesting people, but anyway, you can contact Pratyush via email or LinkedIn, as I understood. And thank you, Pratyush, for a very interesting session today. Very happy hosting you, and have a great day.
Thanks, Katerina. Thanks, everyone.